Welcome back, and we're going to continue this video. We've textured the walls, got the ceiling looking nice and the floor looking nice, and the walls. So we want to continue throughout the entire level. So what I want to do is I'm going to align all the textures for the walls throughout the whole level. Now this works great if you want to have all the walls look the same. It's a nice, quick way. So I'm going to do is show you how to do that. I'm going to go ahead and take these walls. I'm going to have all the walls in the entire level have the same texture surface. So I'm going to go Control C, which is copy. So Control plus C. I'm going to right click over the surface and going to select surfaces, adjacent walls, or Shift W. Click on that, and I'm going to hit Control V. What that does is it puts all of the texture on all the walls. As you can see, if I go throughout my level, and what I'm doing to do this is I'm actually inside and I'm holding down the left mouse button and just moving the mouse forward. Now it kind of goes through and you can see all the walls have been textured, which is really nice. So what I'm going to do is click on the floor, do a Control C, and click on this and do select surfaces. And we're going to do floors. Okay, that does all the floors. And then I'm going to go Control V, and that creates all the floors to be the same. This one didn't do it. So I'm going to go Control V. So the thing is, we did lose something. We lost one of the hallways. I want to do the hallway here. And I liked the grid. I'm going to break up the room up a little bit with using a grid. So I'm going to take that grid and I'm going to put it right over the top of it. There we go. Alright, double click on it. And I think the grid's too big, so I'm going to do 1.1. Oh, excuse me. 0.8 and 0.8. Hit apply. There we go. And then I'm going to move it over. Here we go. Close that. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go Control C, and I'm going to go through and just adjust and place the grid pieces in there. I'm just hitting the Control V, and I'll make changes if I need to, and I will. Control V. So this is a quick way of just getting your level set up or textured really quick. I'm just doing a Control V. Okay, and then I'm going to go these in between. Okay. Okay, you can make adjustments and stuff, but that's a quick way of doing it. Okay, now all you have to do is texture the ceilings. Now the ceilings can't be textured in this manner for some odd reason. There's a problem with texturing, so you have to do that manually. So find a roof texture you've already worked with, or find one that you like. Here's one I started with, so I'm going to click on that and do a Control C, and just go right through here and just start adding. Just Control V it all the way through. And just go into every room that you need to, that needs to have the ceiling texture, and Control V it. Now I don't mind if the rooms are consistent, and it works. So I'm fine with that, and you can break the rooms up if you want to with static meshes. That's what we're going to actually start placing here pretty soon. But we're going to we're going to do the lighting first before we add any static meshes, so we can get the ambiance mood correct in the actual game, the level. So that's kind of basically real quick how I added these textures, and of course you can go in here and place them the way you want to. So if I double click on that, I can open this up and move it over to make sure it lines up with the rest of how the rest of the level looks, and do the same thing with all of them, and just move it over until it looks correct. Looks like I need to apply that. There we go. So you just have to do some tweaking to make sure everything is aligned up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up a scene with all my texturing done and tweaked. Okay, so here's everything finished. I made some adjustments. I changed this to these interior smaller rooms to have a different floor texture. And now we're ready to go in here and add lighting. So we're going to start with the bigger room, and this distant light really won't make a difference because that's mainly for exterior lighting. So I'm going to move that up and out of the way, okay, so we don't get that confused. So I'm going to start with this room right here. Okay, what you want to do is you kind of want to create lighting scenarios. So I guess one of the things we need to have are lights that will actually be physically accurate. So if I put a light here, then I'll have a light showing up around the light. So basically what I mean is let's find a static mesh. So if I go into static meshes, so right here, let's click off materials, and let's go ahead and delete that in here so we'll get all. So when we delete that, you don't have anything in there. We'll just have static meshes selected. Make sure you have UDK game selected. Okay, and then let's move that down and see if we can't find some light meshes. Anything that glows too as well is acceptable. So I'm going to show you something really cool. So I'm going to create a private package. I'm going to call this lights. Click OK. So we're going to dump static meshes into the lights. So I'm going to click on UDK game again. Click on that, and I'm going to drag it into here. So I've got one asset, so I can open that up anytime, and there it is. So it's kind of a cool way of, I'll go back to UDK game, of collecting static meshes, so you don't have to dig through this again. So we're going to do it one time. We're going to dig through this stuff. So here's a kind of a cool flare for lights. So I'm gonna use these. This is kind of cool. I'm gonna click on that and pull it into lights. Click on this guy right here. Pull it into lights, my lights folder. I'm going to continue looking for lights. The only problem with this is that you will not see this folder when you bring your scene back into UDK. Like if you go back from school to home, this only works if you use this at home. So I would do most of my work at home anyway. But just remember that this folder will not won't copy over. So I'm going to bring that in here, and let's look for other light. There's another light here that's really good, so I'm going to bring that in there too as well. Okay, see if I can find any other static meshes. Anything that kind of glows. What's this one? That's kind of interesting. So just keep looking. Here's a good one here. I got some interesting mesh effects. This is kind of cool right here. This could be our ceiling one. That looks really good. This is a good one too, maybe for kind of science fictionist. This won't work so well, neither will this, but you know, if you want to use them, that's fine. So I'll go ahead and place them in there. Okay, and this looks like it's got a glow in it, so I'll put that in there as well. Right now we're going to be working on lining, so I'm finding some static meshes in here. Okay. Here's a really nice light beam, so I'm going to put that in there as well. Let's bring that down a little bit. Here's another really nice light beam. Again, I'm just dragging and dropping those into the folder. Okay, so let's see what we got so far. So I click on the folder. These are all the lights that I have that are kind of cool. So I'll probably put these lights in the hallway here, and then I'll put these lights here, more industrial lights, inside right above the doors. So I'll give you an example of what I'm going to do with mine. So I'm going to click on this, I'm going to take and drag it over here. And I'll rotate around so I can see and move it this way and move it up a little bit. So again, I've got my grid snap way too high, so I've got it set to 128. Let's set that back to like 4. Okay. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to rotate. And I'm going to probably go to the top view and make this just a little bit bigger. Okay, so alright, so I'm going to go to the top view. It's very hard to place these. So I'm going to get it a lot closer. And I'm going to place this static mesh right against the wall. Now, it's nice because I can use this now to be able to see the outside of the wall. That's great right there. Okay. So once I determine that's the right scale, the only way to do that is to go in and play the game. Go ahead and play your level. So I'm going to go in here and just take a look at it and see if it's something I want to play from here. Okay, so there's no lighting. I see my light. Okay, so it doesn't look too bad. Hit escape. So I do need to put a light in here, otherwise I can't see anything. So that looks pretty good. Okay, let's move it up just a little bit more. There we go. So it's kind of against the wall. There we go. Something like that looks good. Okay. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll put a light right in here. And if you actually want to put it within the light itself, you might have to make this a double-sided material so it can see through. But anyway, as it is right now, that's my light. So you want to put your physical lights in, and we'll come back after I get all that done. So I'll put my physical lights in, and then I'll start adding my other lights. Physical lights are what you see, the lights that will add to the room as well. So let me show you what I'm going to do with that. So I already kind of thought maybe this would work, this one or this one. So I'm going to do this one here and place it up there. Move it down and rotate it. Okay. Now again, I can't really place these properly without going into orthographic viewport. See, you can see that orthographic viewport will help me tremendously in placing this light in the center of the room and properly placing it. Okay, so I'm going to go to top view. Again, I can't see what I'm doing, so I'm going to get that in the middle. And I may have, depending on how large the room is, I may have 4 lights, may have 5 lights, may have 1 light. If it's a small room, we'll have 1. So let's look at the side view, and you can see that once I get 1 light placed, I can duplicate it all around. So once 1 is placed, I can duplicate it all around. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do 4 in the big areas here. So I'm going to just hold the Alt key. Okay, something like that for the big rooms. Okay, then I'm going to go hold the Control Alt, and I'm going to marquee select these guys here, and hold the Alt key, and move these up for this room. Alt key, move that across. Alt key. As you can see, that I'm just copying those over. And we click on this guy right here. Now this room's going to be different, so I'm going to go ahead and hold the Alt key and move them up into this room and just space them around. So I'm going to take this guy, move it, take this guy here, move it up, space it out a little bit. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, then I'm going to take this slide here and hold the Alt key and try to get it in the middle. Okay. And then I'm going to take these, basically I'm not going to put them in the hallways. I'm going to put these guys in the little rooms. I'm going to do 1 in each one of these rooms. There we go. I'm just holding down the Alt key to duplicate it. Again, I'm just placing them in the middle of the little rooms. There you go. Alright, we'll have 1 more over here. Okay, so the hallways will have something different. So now you can go into the side view. That looks good. And so now we can see that we have lights, physical lights in the room. Now I just need to add these throughout to move them around and basically put them in every room. So I'm going to have physical lights. Move in here. You can see that I have physical light in there. There we go. And physical lights in here too as well. Okay, so alright, so once you do that, you can do some cool effects. And I'll just do the little room here. If you look up, we're going to add a static mesh, and it's going to be this guy right here. So we're going to have a volumetric light beam. Okay. So I'm going to take this and drag it into the scene. Okay. And move it down. Not sure where it is. It's hard to see. There it is. And I can see it in the side view here, if you can see that. Side view. So it's placed right in the middle. That looks good. Okay, place it in the center there, and let's extend it down a little bit. So let's go ahead and go into that way. Let's move it down. There we go. So it almost touches the floor. Okay. So when you play the game, it's going to be kind of cool. So you can see that really cool beam coming down, which is kind of neat. And let's put it right over top of it. There we go. So that's going to look kind of cool. Alright. So when you play the game, it will look a lot nicer. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, and we're going to move on with adding the lights into the scene and how to change the different intensities.